On a tragic day in Louisville, Kentucky, NTSB investigators were diligently combed through the wreckage of a devastating MD-11 cargo plane crash at Muhammad Ali International Airport. This catastrophic event, which occurred on November 15, 2025, has led two of America's largest parcel carriers, FedEx and UPS, to ground dozens of their MD-11 aircraft. Both companies stated they're taking this precautionary step out of an abundance of caution following the disastrous incident at the UPS Global Aviation Hub. The domino effect of this crash is clearly underway. And if this story has gripped you as much as it has us, drop a 1 in the comments to show you're following along. The human toll of this horrific crash is heartbreaking. 14 lives lost as of November 20, 2025, with 3 on the plane and 11 on the ground, while 9 others remain unaccounted for. Over the weekend of November 16th to 17th, UPS and FedEx made the voluntary decision to ground their entire fleets of MD-11 planes, a move that's sure to have far-reaching consequences. Then, late on November 17th, the FAA issued an Emergency Airworthiness Directive, a rare and urgent order that dramatically alters the landscape for the MD-11 fleet. This isn't just a standard notice, it's an immediate response to a severe safety concern, raising pressing questions about the impact on the public and the future of these aircraft. Unlike regular airworthiness directives, which often take weeks or months with public hearings and input from manufacturers like Boeing or Airbus, an emergency directive is fast-tracked, reflecting the gravity seen in footage of the plane veering off the runway, erupting into a fireball, and losing its left engine completely. So, what exactly is an emergency airworthiness directive? It's a critical, rapid response mechanism employed by the FAA to ground an entire fleet of aircraft when an imminent safety threat is identified, bypassing the usual drawn-out processes to prioritize public safety. This specific directive targets Boeing's MD-11 and MD-11F models. Yes, Boeing, because they acquired McDonnell Douglas in the late 1990s through a merger, taking ownership of the MD-11 line even though they didn't design or build these planes themselves. The directive was prompted by the November 15th accident where the left engine and its supporting pylon detached from the aircraft during takeoff, an alarming event that echoes historical design flaws in this aircraft family. This isn't a new concern, it harkens back to the tragic American Airlines Flight 191 crash on May 25, 1979 at O'Hare International Airport in Chicago, where a DC-10 lost its left engine just after reaching 500 feet. That incident resulted in a catastrophic double failure. Without thrust on the left side, the plane yawed and banked left due to uneven power, compounded by the retraction of the left slats, which disrupted lift. Within moments, the aircraft rolled 110 degrees and crashed, killing all 271 on board in one of the deadliest aviation accidents in U.S. history. The MD-11, as a direct descendant of the DC-10, shares this tri-jet design legacy and its associated risks. The FAA's directive explicitly states that this unsafe condition, namely the potential for engine or pylon detachment, could exist or develop in other aircraft of the same type design, justifying the immediate grounding of the entire U.S. fleet of MD-11s. While the NTSB's initial on-camera statements noted that the pylon in the Louisville crash remained attached to the wing, it's still uncertain whether the engine failure caused the detachment or if the pylon's structural integrity failed first. This chicken or egg question may take months to resolve, with answers likely only emerging in preliminary reports or the comprehensive 12-month investigation summary. The FAA, however, isn't waiting for final conclusions, underscoring that this risk could impact other MD-11s in operation. Although the FAA lacks jurisdiction to mandate grounding of MD-11 fleets operated by foreign airlines overseas, it's strongly implied that those carriers should follow suit in the interest of safety to prevent similar tragedies on international routes. The impact of this grounding is immense. For UPS, their 27 MD-11's represent about 9% of a 292 aircraft fleet, a significant loss as the holiday season nears. FedEx faces a comparable setback, with 25 MD-11's making up roughly 6.6% of their 382 planes. Losing nearly a tenth of their capacity just before the busiest time of year, when both companies typically ramp up operations by 10 to 20%, is a major challenge. To cope, they'll likely seek extra capacity from other carriers like American, Delta, United, Southwest, or international haulers such as Atlas and World Airlines, many of whom operate 747s. But with the holiday rush stretching everyone thin, finding spare planes will be tough. Amazon, too, will be competing for capacity. Notably, the MD-11 hasn't carried passengers since KLM's last flight in October 2014. It's now strictly a cargo hauler. This shift wasn't due to safety concerns, but efficiency. Airlines like American, which briefly operated MD-11's in the 1990s, found them costly to maintain and fuel inefficient compared to modern twin-engine jets. For example, an MD-11 flight from Louisville to Honolulu, like UPS Flight 2976, burns 220,000 pounds of fuel, while a 767 uses about 160,000 to 165,000 pounds, a third less, making the MD-11 significantly more expensive to run. Why do companies maintain such a diverse fleet of aircraft types? It's a strategic buffer against crises like this. If a single fleet type is grounded, as Southwest would face with their all-737 lineup, they'd be paralyzed. A varied fleet, though more expensive, due to diverse training and maintenance for Airbus, Boeing, and other manufacturers, ensures operations can continue if one type is sidelined. It also allows cargo haulers and airlines to reach global destinations, something Southwest can't do with the 737's limited range for deep South America or Europe. The FAA's directive, issued without warning on November 17th, prioritizes safety over procedure, stating that further flight is banned until inspections and FAA-approved fixes are completed. Pilots received this news mid-mission via ACARS messages, think texting for planes, ordering them to return to the gate if taxiing or land at their destination if airborne. No more MD-11 flights until further notice. Western Global, another U.S. operator, must also ground any MD-11's they have, though exact numbers aren't available. What does this mean for the holiday season? It's not good news for UPS and FedEx. They're scrambling to secure alternative capacity to move packages during this peak period, which could lead to delays. Customers tracking shipments might see notices about longer delivery times due to FAA airworthiness directives, a small inconvenience compared to the safety imperative. The 14 families grieving after the November 15th crash aren't concerned with package timelines, and preventing another tragedy is paramount. The FAA's action is the right call. Emergency directives are rare but vital. Looking ahead, the MD-11 may be grounded for a long time, perhaps permanently. UPS and FedEx, who likely plan to phase out these planes in 2026 for cost reasons, not safety, might now retire them sooner, replacing them with cheaper twin-engine options. The investigation into what went wrong, whether the pylon or engine failed first, and crafting a fix will be lengthy. Meanwhile, fleet diversification remains a double-edged sword, costly yet a lifeline when one type is grounded, unlike the risk Southwest faces with a single model. Past groundings, like the 737 MAX for over a year, show how crippling that can be. Questions linger about why other incidents, like Air India 171 with fuel control switch issues, didn't prompt similar directives. The answer lies in specificity. Voluntary inspections by Air India and Korean Air found no systemic flaws, unlike the clear design concerns with the MD-11. The FAA isn't playing favorites with Boeing. Their focus is public safety, and they'd ground any fleet if needed. As more details emerge about the Louisville crash, updates will follow. For now, the priority is ensuring no more lives are lost to this aircraft's issues. If this in-depth exploration of the MD-11 crisis resonated with you, type 1 in the comments and check out related videos on UPS Flight 2976 or other recent aviation incidents. Fly safe, everyone!